me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the May 7th, 2018 Bryan City Council meeting. First on the agenda this evening, we need the approval of the minutes from the April 12th executive session joint meeting and the April 16th meeting.
So move.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes. Next is any hearing of public concerns. And seeing no one, we will move on. Next is an ordinance. Lori, would you please number and read?
Ordinance number 15, 2018, an ordinance providing for the transfer of funds for the city of Bryan for the month ending May 31st, 2018. This is a transfer request of $300,000 from the 1% income tax fund to the 101 general fund for general spending purposes. A transfer of $150,000 from the 1% income tax fund to the 203 motor vehicle street department fund for general spending purposes. A transfer of $500,000 from the 0.5% income tax fund to the 401 capital improvement fund for pending projects. A transfer of $50,000 from the 0.5% income tax fund to the 505 sewer drain maintenance for maintenance. Transfer amount total requested, $1 million.
I'll move to suspend.
Second.
Lynn?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Rick?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes. Next is, excuse me, next is another ordinance. Lori?
Ordinance number 16, 2018, an ordinance providing for annual appropriations for the city of Bryan for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018, and declaring an emergency. This is an appropriation request for the Parks Department for $218 for operating supplies. This request comes as a donation was received from the Church Women United for trees. In addition, a Parks appropriation for $1,019 for new equipment. This comes from the Bryan Baseball Association for mounds. A $100,000 appropriation is also requested to the 207 permissive tax for the paving program for a project to be following. Total amount of appropriation requested, $101,237.
I move that we suspend.
I'll second.
Rick?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes. Next on the agenda is a resolution. Lori?
Resolution number 13, 2018, a resolution authorizing the sale by public auction of various tangible items and vehicles that have been retired from public service and authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for auction services with Wilson Auction and Realty for the same.
Mayor?
Yes, this is an agreement and contract with Wilson Auction and Realty for May 19th at 9:30 in the morning over in Stryker. We had a lot of office furniture in the basement, and when I came in as mayor, I had taken my tour around the building, and a lot of it was courts furniture, but some was also city, and the judge has agreed to put some of that into a sale. The reason that we have to come to you is actually for the 3 vehicles that are listed in this that will be sold at auction. I believe one is Parks and 2 are street. Is that correct? All their street?
All 3.
Okay, all 3 street department, because they may go over $1,000. So with that, we needed council approval to enter into the contract and sell the miscellaneous items. It was also, we partnered with Stryker because they already had one scheduled on there, so we'll take care of getting everything there, but it was more cost feasible for us to share the auction cost.
I'll move to suspend.
I'll second.
Lynn?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
John?
I need to abstain since I do independent contract work with Wilson's. Actually, I will be clerking that particular sale.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
That's known as a full disclosure, gentlemen.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mary,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
John,
Abstain.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Next on the agenda is another ordinance. Lori?
Ordinance number 17, 2018, an ordinance to authorize the purchase of sodium chloride, road salt, from the Ohio Department of Transportation through the state purchasing program for the 2018-19 winter season.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is our annual ordinance that we bring before you every year about this time to buy salt through ODOT and the state purchasing program. It's the same thing we've done for the last 6 or 7 years probably. And then bids will come out in August, I believe.
Council, any questions?
I move to suspend.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
I move to adopt.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Lori, another ordinance.
Ordinance number 18, 2018, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Gherkin Paving Incorporated for the project known as 2018 Asphalt Program.
Mr. Whalen?
Good evening.
Good evening.
As we discussed a few months ago when we asked permission to bid this, I thought it was going to run a little higher than what I had originally budgeted, and I think Mr. Betts asked me how we were going to deal with that, and you saw that 2 or 3 motions ago there that we asked for an extra $100,000 out of the gas tax fund to cover that. So with that, we did receive one loan bid, as we typically do for our asphalt program. My estimate was around, I think, $656,000. The bid came in at $628 and some change. So we're going to use $350,000 that we had budgeted for the 401 and then $300,000 from the 207 gas tax to cover that. So that gives us a little extra cushion if we do run a little heavy with some asphalt, because it's tough to judge. A 1/16 of an inch difference in asphalt can make a huge difference. So they do their best to try and keep it close, but with that, I request that you suspend the rules and allow me to proceed because they're chomping at the bit to start. And again, this was Union Street, all of Union Street,
That's what I was going to ask.
and East Wilson Street from Union east to Runkle Road.
Okay. I'll move to suspend. Second.
Rick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Lynn,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 8 on the agenda is another ordinance. Boy, Lori's earning her money tonight.
Ordinance number 19, 2018, an ordinance authorizing the clerk treasurer to issue change order number 1 for the project known as Southwest Bryan Sanitary Sewer Replacement to extend the substantial completion date to June 1st, 2018, and final completion date to June 15th, 2018.
As we all remember and are still aware, winter lasted longer than what it normally does. This project is a sewer project in their rear yards, and in those rear yards is buried electric, buried cable, buried fiber, buried telephone. Some of it only buried 6 inches deep or so, and when you take a scoop of frozen dirt, all the wires come up with it. So we had worked with the contractor on trying to do a little bit later start date in anticipation of it getting done. He was on track, and then the rainy season hit. So I could stand here and explain to you for 10 minutes why and what, but we all understand why I'm asking to extend his completion date 15 days to June 1st for substantial completion, and then another 15 on top of that, so it'd be 30 days for the seeding to June 15th.
Move to suspend.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Lynn,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
is another ordinance.
Ordinance number 20, 2018, an ordinance to vacate the 20-foot east-west alley between East Butler Street and East Maple Street from South Main Street to north-south alley east of South Main Street.
This is known as the subway alley. I always talk a lot about what used to be there. It's between what used to be Babb Trucking and Subway. Now, I think it's a dog grooming place. Runs east and west. Randy Peters is talking about doing some remodeling to the building behind Subway and moving an office up there potentially. Needs some added parking. He met with the planning commission. You've got the minutes in your packet there. They unanimously approved it. There was no question. We did retain a utility easement through there. The only thing through there is an overhead electric line as of right now, but we still retain that utility easement if we ever need it for any other purpose. But, with that, we had no questions. You don't necessarily need to suspend the rules. There's no urgency. If you want to do a couple readings on it, I'd be absolutely fine with that, just in case there is any public comment. But again, there was no question, no concerns at all on that from anybody, any city department head or anything. We all unanimously supported it.
Any of the businesses around there, do you think would have any problem with that?
No, because we still got the north-south alley that runs through there. You're crazy if you pull west out of there and try and go south on South Main Street. So it's actually kind of a blessing, because right now we have two means of egress through there with the subway entrance and that. In his overall plan, Dr. Peters is going to abandon one of those and kind of relocate things. It doesn't matter that it might or might not line up with what's across the street, because that's not an alley on the west side of Main Street. That's actually a private driveway through there. Most people think it's an alley, but it is actually owned by what used to be the old grocery store in that facility there. Now that's private property. And that's one way anyways in, so you'd be crazy to drive all the way across Main Street to get through there. So, that was the main idea. Again, there was no real public comment at all at our planning commission meeting, and everyone within a 250-foot radius was notified. And Andy did receive a few calls on it, I think, but they just was curious what it was, and they're like, oh, okay, I didn't even know it was an alley, and they moved on, so.
That's what I was gonna say, if it went to the planning commission, there's already notification given. So
Correct.
I presume there hasn't been any pushback, so
Haven't
I
heard
have,
nothing.
I have no problem making a motion to suspend.
I'll second.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes,
Judy?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Rick?
Yes,
Lynn?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is a building permit.
Short and sweet. This is out at 1427 West High Street. It's in what I would call the Sears complex. There's I don't know if it's a hair salon, barber shop of some type going in there, and they had an electrical and plumbing remodel inside there, and they acquired a state permit for that. So the work was only $12,000 is all they had done. So, but they did have to get a state permit, so therefore it runs through you. So I request you approve the building permit.
I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
Mary?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes,
Lynn?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll bring this up. Pass it down to your leader. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brian, can I ask you a question that's not related, and if it's not appropriate or you can't answer, you can get back to me later, but I
You're fine.
had someone just ask me, when we do switch gears here, when we do the Main Street repaving, if
Yes,
you
sir.
will, and it goes out, how far does it go out? What's it?
The north limits will be where the concrete pavement starts in front of the old airmail hangar, we'll say,
Okay.
where that's tore down at,
Okay,
all the way south through the Walmart entrance, about to the Arby's entrance, which is where the South Main widening project started a few years ago.
the question came to me and I said, I have no clue, now I will. Go on the north end of this, there are like dividers,
Yes,
yeah. Are those gonna stay?
the curb island going down the underpass is gonna go away. There will be a wider
That was their
striped
hope.
area. There will be a wider striped area. Well, we discussed whether we should leave it or not, whether we should put fiberglass stakes through there. Well, as you know, all the snow gets pushed in the middle.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
street
yeah.
department says, we are just gonna be so happy that that's gonna be gone, because when we clean snow up, we don't
Yeah.
have that debris.
Yeah.
It'll all be paved, there will be no dividers, but it'll be striped. I wanna say, they said 4 foot wide with double stripes in there, so it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, any concrete islands in the middle, the medians are gonna be gone
All
from
right,
this
good.
project.
Thank you for allowing me to ask that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep.
Next on the agenda is a new hire through the fire department. Chief Siders.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Council has before you a name of Jeremy Miklovic. Jeremy comes to us and has completed all of his background investigation and his physical, and he's going to fill the position that was vacated by Christopher Stillion back in March. His first date of working will be Wednesday morning, 6 a.m.
I move to approve.
Second.
Lynn,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next is an employee status change.
Council, I actually have two employment status changes. The first one will be for Derek Beardsley. Derek has completed 3 years of full-time service with the police department. This actually took effect April 7th, 2018, in accordance with contract between the city and the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association. His wages should be adjusted to the contractual 3-year rate. I just ask council to approve that. Do you want the second one now, or do you want to?
I just had a question because I'm new and I don't understand
Yes.
a lot. I understand it's contractual. I got that. I'm good with that. Does the dollar amount is the dollar amount jump market driven? In other words, do most police officers in the size of Bryan make that amount after that period of time? Does that make sense? I just want to know, are we market-wise, how are we faring? Above, below?
I really don't know. This is
Okay.
all discussed during the contract
Okay.
negotiations.
All right.
And that's how it's determined.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, I can find out later, but at some point, I'm gonna be interested in knowing where we are at and how we
Okay.
fare
Right.
with other, good and bad, if it's too high or too low. Thank you.
Amanda can
I
answer
can
that.
answer that. At the
Oh,
time that we
okay.
at the time that we created that contract, we were in the same range as cities like-sized.
Okay, that's good. See there?
Okay.
That Rhonda, she's a wonderful.
Do you want to do
Thanks,
the second one too?
I sure can. Second one would be Justin Garza. Justin has completed his 8 years of full-time service with the police department. This was effective May 3rd, 2018, and in accordance with the contract between the city and Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, his wages should be adjusted to the contractual 8-year rate.
Any questions, council?
I move that we approve.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go around the room before we go into executive session. So Chief Willis, anything else? Mr. Whalen?
Andrew couldn't be here tonight, but he just wanted me to let you guys know that we've been sending out a lot of letters on properties, and we're gonna hit the tall grass here at the end of the week. We know it's been pretty rainy and pretty wet and whatnot, but more or less a public service announcement. If you have not mowed your grass,
Right.
please mow your grass, or you will see one of our pink cards in your yard, and you'll have 72 hours to do it. So just a public service announcement that we are watching, and we will mark you, and you will need to take care of it.
If they don't do it in 72 hours, we do it and then send them a bill?
Not necessarily.
No.
After 72 hours, we turn it over to the prosecutor, and then we go from there. And she tells us
We are real efficient over here.
what we shall do. It's kind of like passing the buck,
Yeah.
but we do our job, and then she does her job, and then if it's a bank-owned property, there's a lot
Right.
of
Sure,
unknowns
sure,
here
sure.
that we know we may just have to take care of it right off the bat. So, we'll talk with Rhonda about that after we turn it into the office, and we'll go from there, but.
Yeah, if the owner is, I would think, from Chicago or whatever, it seems as though.
Then we deal with it, and sometimes we can
Yeah.
bill them throughout the process,
That's
but.
what I was asking,
yeah.
really. All right, thanks.
But that's all I had, just quick public service announcement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Engstrom? Chief Siders? BPA? Mr. Whaling?
Nothing.
Mr. Betts?
Well, not really anything really totally specific, but I just continue to be impressed with a lot of our services, many of them, but the latest of which it irritates many of us, but it's a necessity. But I want to give a pat on the back to Mayor Schlade for being out there directing traffic, and for the police department. I believe it was 2 days in a row, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, needing to go through the building and do painstaking work. So kudos to you. It's something that has to be done, but it's at the same time got to be frustrating, I would think. But perhaps not. Perhaps you enjoy it.
Yes, at 5 PM on a Friday, we all enjoy
Yeah,
hanging
that's what I
out
thought.
together.
That was my general thought.
I just want to thank Tyson for getting the potholes taken care of down by Titan Tire. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Mr. McKee?
I have nothing further.
Lori?
No, ma'am.
Brenda? Mayor?
Yes, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes conversation that goes on when these bomb threats, et cetera, happen, but I would also like to thank the fire department. Chief Siders was kind of ground zero for that, especially Thursday when we were reviewing tape with the school. He really took the lead there because Chief Willis was in the school or manning the bomb-sniffing dogs, and I just really appreciate both of them working so well together. I got to watch them work with the school, and they did a very respectful job, and you should be proud of them as your departments. Also, we had a very devastating fire in the city. So the fire department's coming off of a very tough week with many long hours. And the best I could do Friday night was bring them all dinner because they got the call at dinner time. And so we took care of them that way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my apologies for the oversight on the
Well,
fire
you don't know
department.
until you know.
Yeah, but it's good to know. I would have assumed so.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will take a recess and go into executive session for the acquisition of property, compensation of personnel, and appointment of personnel. Thank you.